Welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. I'm Kristie.
And I'm Josh. We've got some more great Reddit stories for you today, so let's jump into the first one.
Am I the asshole for refusing to give my coworker their office back now that work from home has been canceled?
So just from that title, I'm assuming that you continued to work in the office and you upgraded your location, and now you don't want to give up the good office? I don't know. I don't think you're the asshole. It's your desk. You've probably settled right in.
Back in 2023, a woman, Jen, in my building, left for maternity leave. After having her child, Jen took advantage of our company's work-from-home program, which left her office open. I placed in a request for the space with my manager and was given the go, so I got to leave my crappy cubicle for my very own private office.
Good for you. Sounds like you got the space fair and square.
My employer has announced that work from home will end on 11/17/25. All employees are to be back in the office by that date. Yeah, that sucks, I know. Yesterday, work-from-home employees came in for tours and desk assignments. When Jen saw I was in her office, she became agitated and asked if I'd be leaving so she could take back over.
Wait, how long has she been out of office?
2 years?
2 years?
She left in 2023.
That's so long to assume that a desk was going to be reserved for you.
Not just a desk, a whole private office.
Right? That's like...
prime real estate.
Yeah.
I told her flatly that I had no intent to give up the office. Jen spoke with the manager about this, and management's immediate decision was that I was under no obligation to move out of the office. I was approached and asked if I had any interest in returning to a cubicle. I said no, and there was no follow-up from my manager or HR, as they both see the matter as closed. Now, just a day later, I'm getting a stink from coworkers who think I'm punishing Jen for something outside her control. Jen has also emailed me asking me to consider the position she's in and that she's already being punished by the company by being compelled to return to the building and asking me to consider her feelings.
Okay, you're all being punished by the company. Just because you continued to work in the office doesn't mean that you weren't punished by the company. Why are all of the coworkers taking out their anger on you for having to return to the office, it sounds like?
I definitely understand how much this sucks for her and everyone else being forced to come back, but I like having my own office. I have a lot of stuff in here and I'd otherwise have to carry back home. I'd be giving up the privacy that I've become adjusted to, and if I'm being honest, I enjoy actually having a nice window to look out and none of the noise of the cubicles. Am I the asshole on this one?
No, I don't think you're the asshole on this one. You've had 2 years to settle into this office. I can't imagine coming back after 2 years and expecting anything to still be just sitting there waiting for me.
That's insane, right?
Yeah, that's premium real estate, like you said. No, obviously someone's going to move into the good office. You expect people to just continue to work in cubicles and leave your office unattended? And you've probably brought so much stuff in. It's definitely your office now.
Top comment, is there a reason Jen had the office, higher position that required privacy for calls or meetings, etc.? If there's no work reason for her to have the office and HR/your boss aren't telling you that you have to move, just stand your ground. She's not like her boss or anything. Yeah, if your boss wants your office, you give your boss your office, but she just sounds like a coworker.
I mean, I don't even know if I'm willing to give my boss my office after they've been working from home for 2 years.
Yeah.
Jen just sounds out of luck to me, but it sounds like you must work just lateral to Jen.
But OP replied, my company is weird. We have 15 non-managerial offices. When one becomes available, you may bid on one, and whoever has the most seniority and the best performance metrics wins the office. Generally, 1 or 2 offices becomes available every year, either because of promotions or turnover. So Jen and I are no different than anyone else in the cubicles. When it became available, I got it because I asked and had the seniority and metrics to win over anyone else who had placed a request.
Then yeah, I don't even know why this is being discussed.
It's like, you won it, fair and square.
Yeah.
Another comment, NTA, maybe Jen should consider your feelings as you've been working from the office for years. For her to demand her office back after she moved out of it is really entitled. Call her out to her face and don't tolerate her trying to act like you're the bad guy. Stick to facts and keep emotions out of it. Good luck.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason why you should let her have the office.
Yeah, so she went on maternity leave and then decided to work from home. If she had come back after maternity leave, yeah, she maybe would have, that was her office. She was on maternity leave. That's still her office. Give it back to her, But she just left to work from home for 2 years.
So many things can change in 2 years, right?
There is a little edit from OP. So a few people really, brought up that I hadn't considered was the question of if I vacated the office, would that necessarily mean Jen could have it back? On Monday, my manager had approached me about returning to a cubicle to verify my lack of interest, but this morning I checked with HR on the policy. Sure enough, you cannot simply choose someone to give your office to, as office assignments are selected by policy. The office would go into the pool if I vacated, which means Jen would have to compete with everyone else over it.
So, all those other people giving you the stink eye would also probably be in the pool, huh?
Yes, several of the work-from-home people who have returned are more senior than her, and at least one of them is definitely interested in the next bidding that comes up.
I bet all of them are.
So Jen would be out of luck. HR is going to circulate a reminder on the office bidding policies. I also brought up the email with my manager who stated she will reply to it and CC and Jen's manager to ensure there is an understanding that this matter should be considered closed. Yeah, I feel like that email trying to guilt trip OP into giving up her office was a big overstep. Like, let HR handle it. You don't go to the person personally and be like, give me your office.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's why Jen went to her personally, because she knows that HR would throw it back in the pool and then she wouldn't get it. So if she just does this little side deal, maybe she can move into the office and no one will call her out on it. Seems like that's Jen's best shot, honestly. And I get it, like, after working from home for 2 years, having to go and work in a cubicle, that's awful.
The worst.
Right? Am I the asshole for not wanting to pay my friend $2,000 for watching my cat?
That is a lot of money for watching a cat. Unless, like, your cat had, like, an emergency and had to go to the vet and have surgery and your friend put it on their credit card, I don't think there's a reason you should be giving them $2,000. Unless you're paying them back for that vet thing.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. If the cat had some sort of $2,000 expense, yeah, there'd be no discussion of that you're the asshole if your cat had a need and your friend just fronted the money.
Yeah, like, dude, I saved your cat's life. Give me back the money I spent doing that.
Hi, I, 26 female, was deployed for 6 months.
Oh, 6 months is a long time, though.
Yeah, it's a little different than a weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking, like, I went on vacation for 2 weeks. And 2000 seemed a bit extreme. I'm rethinking this now.
My male coworker, who I thought I was friends with, agreed to take care of my cat while I was gone. No money was agreed or promised before I left. During the time I paid for her expenses as he told me them. And when I got back, I picked her up. I gave $300 because I considered this a favor from a friend. They did not like the amount given and wanted $2,000. In their words, the nearest pet care center costs $20 a day or $100 a week, so they should get $10 a day because of the effort involved in taking care of my cat. She stayed at their house with their other pet during the time, so they didn't have to travel to take care of her. So, am I the asshole for not wanting to pay $2,000? I obviously realize now this person is not a friend and I no longer will consider them as such and treat them only as a coworker.
OP did exactly what I would have done. You know, no money was agreed about beforehand. Like, she wasn't like, I'll pay you this amount. He didn't request a certain amount per day beforehand. So my thought is, you're doing me a favor. I will bring you back a really nice gift or throw you a little bit of money as a, hey, thank you for doing this. $300 seems like a reasonable amount to me, you know? So yeah, the $10 a day he wanted is cheaper than the $20 a day boarding. But if he wanted that, he needed to bring that up before she left the cat with him. Because she could have maybe found other arrangements for that cat where it wouldn't have been as expensive. She could have found a real friend who'd be like, I love cats. Give me your cat. I'll watch it for free. Like I would have done, you know?
Yeah. I think surprising someone with a $2,000 bill is asshole behavior.
Yes.
Personally, I'm fine with you turning up and handing me the $300. And because I was doing you a favor as a friend, it does sound like that is not how this person saw this relationship.
No, and he needed to bring that up before, though, then.
Yeah, these things need to be discussed beforehand if money's going to be exchanging hands, not after the service is done.
Mm-hmm.
It does make me wonder, was your cat just a terror for 6 months?
I hate this cat. He keeps waking me up in the middle of the night. This is so not worth it. She better be paying me good for this.
Yeah, then you only show up with $300 and they're like, this was not worth the pain.
Yeah, because she said he already had a pet, and taking care of a second pet when you already have one is not that much more work than just taking care of one pet.
Unless the second pet and he has like a bunch of special needs or it's like a different type of animal.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like a cat and a dog are close enough. They're not that different.
It's a little annoying to have to scoop a litter box, but maybe equally as annoying as letting the dog out constantly. So
Yeah.
They do kind of compare, don't they? So Reddit says everyone sucks here. Top comment, everyone sucks here. For 6 months, I would have compensated my friend for their time and effort. $300 was a nice gesture, but I probably would have paid $500 minimum. I would just never expect a friend to watch my cat for free for 6 months. While cats are generally low maintenance, daily care is still involved. Your friend sucks, as throwing a $2K invoice at someone out of the blue is not it, but any cost should have been discussed up front. And someone replied to that, though. That's what friends and family are for, though. At some point, the friend will need help and OP would be there for them. It's a give and take. The friend is a scammer. If he wanted money, he needed to say that before accepting. It's not like he didn't know it would be 6 months. Wanting money afterwards as a scam, OP could have asked someone else.
There's a few friends I can think of where I would, no questions asked, be like, yes, I will watch your cat for 6 months and not charge them any money. Now, when we do have, like when we go on vacation and have my sister come and check on our cats, like we don't pay her, but I do leave her snacks and like her favorite snacks and stuff on the counter for her because I'm like, hey, thank you for coming and checking on our cats.
Once again, though, that's the friends and family kind of deal. Like,
Yeah.
I'll hit you back when you need something.
Yeah, and then we watch her cats and go check on them when she needs it, you know, and she leaves me snacks. It's just a little thank you.
Yeah. So it balances out. And apparently this guy that you work with wanted it to balance out with money.
Yeah. And I feel like his amount of money was not the friends and family discount.
It doesn't sound like it because he's not like a professional care facility. So 50% of what the professional care facility is asking is a lot.
Yeah.
Not the asshole. The standard practice for watching a cat is that you'd pay for any food, vet visits, and any destroyed items. And this you seem to have done. Only a real a-hole would come up with a figure like $2,000 after the fact when it wasn't agreed upon beforehand. Then one last comment. Everyone sucks here. $300 for 6 months is insane. Y'all should have agreed prior to you leaving. $2K is a lot, but so is 6 months. $1.66 a day to watch your cat is pretty insulting. I'd have at least countered with $1K. I watched a coworker's cat for 5 days and expected $0. They gave me $300 when they returned. We def made less salary than you as well. I think that person's coworker is just rather generous.
That is extremely generous, yeah. Hey, if you're enjoying the story so far, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us.
Yeah, it lets us know that we should continue to make the best show on the internet for you. The only show on YouTube worth watching.
Exactly. Seriously, hit that subscribe button.
I like that you just go along with my dumb shit.
Am I the asshole for intentionally scaring my neighbor's kids?
No, I assume those little turds had it coming.
My 29 female bedroom window faces the front yard. During the day, I have the blinds half open, enough to let in some light and sunshine for my cats. From the street and even from the front yard, it's not possible to see clearly into my room. Because of this, I do often walk through my bedroom in my underwear or just partly dressed to get to the bathroom.
Oh, we all do the underwear bathroom run.
Yes, bedroom to bathroom. Or bathroom to bedroom, but
Yeah.
yes. I don't risk walking around naked, though. Recently, my neighbor's twin kids, both male and I'm guessing around 7 years old, have started looking in my bedroom window. I don't just mean standing by the window in my yard. I'm talking faces and hands completely pressed up against the window, looking in.
Okay, that's a little much.
I assume this started with them looking at my cats, but now I think they consider it some type of game with me. If they see me, they run back home laughing. I've caught them outside on a number of occasions and asked them directly not to do this. But again, they just run away laughing like it's a game.
It sure sounds like they think it's a game.
I've also spoken to their parents multiple times and they refuse to do anything about it. The response I got was, they're just kids being kids, and if you don't want someone looking in your windows, just keep it closed. I think that teaching your kids that it's okay to go onto someone's property and peek in their window is kind of fucked up. I know they're only young, but I still feel like my privacy is being invaded. When they're young is the time to teach them.
Yeah, 7 is when you teach them not to peek in windows, because when they do it at like 15, they're just going to get arrested. 7, that you get a little slap on your wrist from your parents and a glaring neighbor, right?
Yeah, you get a little lecture and that's that.
Yeah, this is when you teach them boundaries. Like, yeah, you can't have two boys running up and looking in your window.
You're just teaching them that it's okay to be a peeping Tom, and when they hit their teenage years, this is going to be a big problem.
This is going to be a big problem down the line. It's cute when they're this young, right?
Not even really, no.
Not even really, no. It's like, those little turds. But that's as far as it goes at this age. They're like,
I better go talk to their parents.
Yeah, I gotta go talk to their parents, not I gotta call the police.
This has been going on almost daily for months now.
Months?
Until last week. I walked in my bedroom and heard the kids outside playing, then spotted the terrifying demon-like mask that my boyfriend wore to Halloween party the night before. So I got an idea. I stood next to my window wearing the mask for almost 20 minutes. Finally, I heard the footsteps approaching and waited until both kids had their noses pressed up against the window. At that moment, I jumped out, mask right at their eye level, and let out the deepest, loudest roar I possibly could.
That's hilarious. I sure hope that it doesn't become just a fun scaring game after this point for you.
I gotta say she is committed. She stood there wearing that mask for 20 minutes waiting for them to come up to the window.
You know, if a pair of brats were looking in my window for months and I couldn't get them to stop and the parents didn't care, I would happily sit in waiting for longer than 20 minutes. Not happily. I would be grumbling the whole time, but I would do it.
In all the years living next to these neighbors, I've never heard them scream as loudly as they did when they saw me. They ran home screaming and crying, and just minutes later, their mother was at my door calling me a monster for scaring her children. I simply told her that I do what I want in my own house, and if her kids don't want to see that, they should stay away from my windows.
You should have been like, I wasn't even home. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's even better, Josh. Make her think that you have a haunted house or there's a demon living in your house and you can't control that demon.
Or just someone broke in, yeah. If they're not going to discipline their own kids, then you need to just gaslight this lady.
It's been a week now, and I'm glad to say the kids have not even stepped foot on my front lawn. Not sure if it's because they're traumatized or if their parents have just told them not to do it anymore. Either way, I'm happy. I felt justified at the time, but everyone I've told has said that I took it too far for such young children. So, I don't know. Am I the asshole?
No, 7-year-olds are plenty durable enough to spook, in my opinion. Like, you didn't even scare them that bad, honestly. You jumped out and yelled boo, right? That's the level of fear it was. And they shouldn't have been doing it. So, I have no mercy on these children. I'm sorry. I think that this was a very creative solution. You got your results, and you didn't have to get the police involved, so, kudos to you.
I like her solution, but I'm thinking I would have just got one of those motion-activated sprinklers and put it right outside my front window. Spray those little buggers every time they come over.
Yeah, I could see that too. I mean, once the parents won't do anything, I guess you could just gotta take it into your own hands.
Top comment, I love it. If she keeps complaining, I would let her know that there are consequences for parents and their kids when parents let their kids trespass and be peeping Toms, which would get them arrested as a teen or adult, because kids will be kids is not a good response.
Yeah, nobody likes it when they complain to you and you respond like, boys will be boys, right?
Yeah, it's awful. No, discipline them.
Yeah, no, they cause trouble.
They're a human being. They need to act like a respectable member of society. NTA, they're lucky they didn't get a call from the police instead of just getting scared by a mask. The mother, though, is the asshole. She should be teaching her kids better and not to look into random neighbors' bedroom windows. The nerve. Keep your windows closed. The absolute gall. What would be her excuse if her kids had caught you and your boyfriend together through those windows? You shouldn't be having sex where kids can see it? Frankly, you should have done it sooner, and anyone who disagrees clearly has never had their privacy encroached on, children or not.
Am I the asshole for not making my daughter-in-law coffee and telling her I am not a barista?
Well, I mean, if you're not a barista, it's not your job to make people coffee, so I guess not.
My son and daughter-in-law, Emily, are staying in our home, probably for the next month due to water damage in their home. The company is fixing the damage, but the flooring was damaged, so it's not very livable right now. They have only been here less than a week, and I am having an issue. I work nights. I come back home around 6:30 a.m. and then go to bed. My husband is usually up, so I make him a coffee and breakfast before I turn in. Just something I like to do. More quality time before he heads to work. I asked my son and Emily if they would also like coffee or breakfast before they go to work. They said no to food, but yes to coffee. That was easy, and I just made 2 extra cups. I asked them to tell me if they want me to change how to make their coffee. I thought they would just tell me, use this cream, or if they had a preference on blend. Emily texted me last night and said she left instructions for the coffee.
Instructions?
This morning I came home to very detailed instructions how to make a complex coffee. It was like a Starbucks drink. She wanted foamed milk on top, different syrups, a specific coffee bean, fresh ground, and a different brewing method. We have a drip coffee machine. Most of the stuff was on the counter.
No. When I ask you, do you want me to make you coffee, that means, do you want me to throw an extra scoop of grounds into the coffee machine, not make you a Starbucks drink. We're not doing lattes and cappuccinos over here. You're getting a plain old cup of coffee.
Yeah, I would have taken that to mean, like, I can make a pot of decaf.
Yeah, do you want me to make it a little stronger than I have been making it because you like strong coffee? It's okay too, but,
I could pick up some different flavored creamer on the way home. We aren't going super fancy here. I don't think she owns an espresso machine or anything.
No, she said a drip coffee.
Yeah, I decided I wasn't doing that and just made the normal coffee. Emily wasn't happy and we got into an argument before she went to work. I basically told her I am not a Starbucks barista and I am not going through all that. She told me I shouldn't have offered in the first place if I wouldn't make the coffee to her liking. We left on a sour note. I've been getting texts from my son about not being hospitable, so I am having trouble sleeping at the moment. Should I just make the coffee?
No, I would never ask someone who is kindly hosting me in their home to go this much out of their way to make me something. That seems so rude. Whenever I'm staying with someone, I'm like, no, don't go to any extra trouble. I can just take care of myself and everything. And this girl obviously has the opposite stance.
At least when it comes to coffee.
Yeah, if you want a coffee that fancy, you go to a coffee shop and get it.
It does. So it says everything was on the counter. I took that to mean all of my stuff was on the counter, and I obviously don't have that stuff, but now I'm wondering if it meant daughter-in-law got all of this stuff and left it out for her to use.
She went and got all the fancy syrups she likes in her coffee and everything.
And a milk foamer.
Foaming, I don't even know how to foam milk.
It's not that hard. It's a little wand you stick in the milk.
But still, this seems like a lot more complicated than putting some coffee grounds in the machine, adding water and letting it go and then pouring it out.
It sounds like it, right? She's probably getting home before everyone's even up. So she just pushes the button on the machine and there's a pot of coffee sitting there when they wake up, right?
Yeah.
Although she's also making breakfast for husband. So I don't know, maybe she's, saying hi to him and then as he's leaving, she's going to bed. So they could just overlap there. Either way, though, that's a big ask. Not a huge ask, but it's an annoying ask.
Yes.
Reddit is pretty firmly not the asshole. Top comment, if your son's doubling down like that, sounds like it's time for him and his entitled wife to seek new accommodations. To which OP replied, I don't believe this is a kick-out offense. I already sent them this post. So I will not kick them out, maybe if the situation gets worse. So we will have a conversation when everyone is back from work. I need to sleep, so thanks to everyone for that replied.
She sent them the post. I want to know what they think about it.
I know, right? The post has 3,600 comments.
Oh my goodness.
So they've got a lot of Reddit telling them to calm down with the coffee. In Sweden, it's sort of customary of a host to compromise about the small things with coffee, like whether it's oat milk or regular, offering sugar, making it a tiny bit stronger or weaker. That's what people mean when they offer to accommodate tastes here. Whatever coffee you then get in your cup, you fucking smile and say thank you. Even if it's the most vile thing you've ever been offered. That's my culture anyways.
That's my culture too. I feel like that's what should be our culture, but there are just some very entitled people in America.
I think that's how I was raised too. If you are a guest in someone's house, you just say thank you and you drink the coffee.
Yep, no complaints. Do not complain about anything that the host cannot easily fix.
Yeah, right?
Hey, could I maybe have an extra blanket on the bed? I was chilly last night. That you can do. Complaining about the food, don't do that. It's rude.
Yeah, no, you just say thank you and you pretend to drink the coffee and then you dump it in the sink after she goes to bed and you stop at Starbucks on the way to work. It's not hard.
Yeah, her son is saying she's not being a very good host. I'd be like, well, you guys are being terrible guests.
She doesn't need to say it. She forwarded him this post.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Reddit will tell them for her.
Yeah. Yeah, she gets to step back and just let complete strangers on the internet tell them for her.
Am I the asshole for not apologizing to my daughter's boyfriend for viewing photos of his house on a real estate site without his permission?
I have to sincerely hope that you're not the asshole because I do this to people all the time.
You do. I know this is your guilty pleasure, is looking up people's houses on Zillow and just looking at them.
Especially when they just buy a house.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, I gotta look at this thing. And then I gotta go through and look at like, oh, they got a new furnace. That's nice. So I sure hope this is an asshole behavior.
In 2021, my youngest daughter, then 23, let's call her Nadia, met up with a guy she'd gone to high school with. Let's call him Ray, then 24. They were just friends in high school, went to different colleges, and hadn't kept in touch. As fate would have it, they ended up taking jobs in the same city and found each other via social media and started meeting up. During that time, Nadia rented a room in a shared house, and Ray rented an apartment. Ray had been house shopping and decided the time was right to buy a home. By this time, Nadia and Ray had been seeing each other for about 6 months, and they planned to move into the new house together.
6 months and they're moving in together?
But they have known each other like all through high school, so they've known each other for a very long time.
That does make it a little different. That's a good point.
I was going to say, if you met someone, started dating them, and then 6 months later were moving in, that does seem fast to me.
Yeah, but you're right. They've known each other for a long time. I can see moving in at this point.
Ray was proud of being a new homeowner and posted a pic of himself on the front porch of the house on Facebook. My daughter, Nadia, was also happy about the new house, and we chatted about what things she/they may need and what the neighborhood was like and the proximity of the house to her work. During the conversation, Nadia mentioned the street name but not the actual address because the house purchased had not gone to closing yet and they hadn't moved in.
Sorry, I know you haven't read super far into the story, but I can't imagine anyone in my immediate family buying a house and not sending like links to the Zillow listing around to everyone in the family. It's super weird to be like private about that, in my opinion.
Yeah, like you just send links to the house. We're thinking about getting this house and this house. Which one do you like better, guys? You know, you ask your family.
Yeah, right?
Look at what we're looking at.
I'm hoping that maybe they'll see something. Like my dad will look through it and be like, well, you're probably going to have to remove those baseboard heaters, which is going to be a pain in the butt.
Several weeks went by and they did eventually move into the house together. The city where they live is about a 6 to 7 hour drive from where my husband and I live, and we weren't able to go visit them due to our work schedules. At the time, my husband and I had been looking at homes on various internet sites because we were planning to downsize since we're now empty nesters. We were exploring housing options in several different states. One day, it occurred to me that since I knew the city and street of Ray's house, I might be able to do a virtual tour online if the listing was still up. I looked it up on a real estate site under Recently Sold. I found a few homes in the right area and quickly recognized the correct one because Ray had posted that photo of himself on the front porch on Facebook, which showed the house number.
Yeah, no one ever removes the old pictures from their Zillow listings.
My husband and I looked at the house photos on the real estate website and thought it looked small but very nice. We were happy for them. Around that time, one of my sons texted to ask me for Nadia and Ray's address so he could send them a housewarming gift. Since I knew the address both from Ray's Facebook post and from the real estate site, I gave it to him. 2 weeks later, I got a call from Nadia just to chat, or so I thought. After the, "How are you doing?" back and forth, she said, "So, we got a package from my brother, but I don't know how he got our address since we didn't give it to him." I volunteered that he had asked me, and I gave it to him. In a slightly severe tone, she asked, "How did you get the address?"
What is up with Nadia where she doesn't want her immediate family to have her address?
Right? That seems really weird to me.
Does she not have any self-preservation? As a 23-year-old woman moving in with a guy, I don't care how long you've known him.
Yeah, tell your parents where you're living so they have an address if you go missing. They know where to start looking.
Yeah, right?
A bit taken aback, I told her exactly what I just shared in this post. She then confessed that she had suspected that and proceeded to scold me for giving out her address without her permission and for having looked up their house without asking for Ray's permission first.
This is getting weird.
I would be mad if my mom gave out my address to strangers.
But to my brother?
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, okay, big deal.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't know. It's anyone in the family. I don't know. It's fine.
They want to send me a housewarming present. Awesome. Give them my address. Why are you asking me? If she called to ask, I'd be like, that's so weird.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh, you don't have my address either? Here's my address. That's super weird.
Her level of outrage seemed very strange and out of character. I asked her if I had called and asked for her address, would she have given it to me? She said, yes, but the point is you didn't ask. To which I replied, Because I already knew your address, so I had no reason to call and ask for it. As I said, the conversation was weird. Pertinent info here because I know people will be speculating. Nadia, her sister, and her 2 brothers all love each other and have very good relationships. We spend holidays together when we can. We keep in touch via calls and texts throughout the year. There are no hard feelings or awkward situations that would make Nadia not want any of her siblings to know where she lived. That is a valid point. If you are on bad terms with your family, yeah, don't give my phone number out to someone I'm no contact with.
I mean...
Not my phone number, my address.
I mean, either one.
Yeah.
But I just assumed that she was not on bad terms with her brother because he's sending her a housewarming gift.
Yeah.
So I don't know why in that story I would ever assume that, but it is Reddit.
The big problem here is that Ray was offended and angry because, as my daughter explained, he is shy and very private person. FYI, I don't think Nadia would have blinked an eye at my giving her brother her address or us looking at online photos. I believe she was just trying to be supportive of boyfriend. I feel like I need to clarify again. Her boyfriend was mad at us because we didn't ask his permission before we looked at the real estate listing of his recently purchased house posted on a public website, and because we gave out their mailing address to Nadia's brother so he could send them a nice housewarming gift.
Ray is really weird.
This is like public information that is out there. Everyone has a right to look at it.
You don't even need to go through all the steps she did to find the address. You just have to go to the tax records for that city, type in his name, and you can get their address.
Yeah, I was like, there are multiple ways to figure out where someone lives, and then you can go look at their house on real estate websites.
Yeah, it's public information. It's crazy to me. If he's that worried about things being private, he needs to be proactive. When you buy a house, you have the option then to go onto like all these sites and remove the old photos. Like, you know what websites it's on.
As a result, Nadia told me that Ray believed we needed to apologize both for looking at the house photos and for giving their address to her brother. I said we'd call them back. After my husband and I discussed it, we set up a phone call with Ray, and we did apologize for giving out the address without asking because that may have been out of order. But we defended ourselves by saying that it never occurred to us that either of them would want to keep their address secret from the family. However, we did not actually apologize for looking at the house photos. We told him we were very sorry that it made him feel like his privacy had been invaded and that it was never our intention to hurt or upset him. We explained that while we were already looking at photos of dozens of homes on the real estate site, we looked to see if his house was still in the listings out of general curiosity. And we didn't think that it was wrong to be curious about the house our daughter was living in. We again said, we are very sorry that this upset you, and we hope you'll accept our apology. So they did the, we're sorry we hurt your feelings, but not the we're sorry for what we did thing.
You know, it's annoying when a parent does that to you, but in this instance, I might have given the same apology here. He's being kind of ridiculous, and when somebody's being that ridiculous, I think they deserve the I'm sure sorry your feelings were hurt. That's what that apology was invented for.
He seemed okay at the end of the phone call, but this did not satisfy him. He was still angry because we would not say, it was wrong of us to look at the house pictures without your permission.
It really wasn't.
Even now, 4 years later...
4 years later?
After he married our daughter, a wedding we helped pay for, and has attended a few family get-togethers at our house and received nothing but kindness from us, he still won't speak to us directly, and when we come to visit, he makes sure he's out of the house when we arrive.
And your daughter married this man?
Yes. He is seeming a bit unreasonable, right?
A little bit.
So, am I the asshole for not apologizing specifically for looking at my daughter and boyfriend's house and viewing the photos online without asking his permission?
No. I don't see the big deal. It's on a public website. It's essentially like going to someone's Facebook and looking at their photos. If they don't care enough to make that thing private information, then it's fair game.
Top comment, he's not very private if he's posting pics of his house online. Google Images is pretty accurate, just saying. Because he posted on Facebook a picture of his house.
Right? He kind of sounds awful. I'm sorry. I know your daughter is married to him. I hope they're very happy together. But to hold a grudge this long over something so small is a big red flag. Is
he aware that property sales are public record, typically available online? All it takes is 5 to 10 minutes and an internet connection for anyone to find his home address, how much he spent on that house, and who he bought it from. I might even be able to get a copy of the deed with his signature on it, depending on the state.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Unless he, jumped through a bunch of legal loopholes to keep everything anonymous, which it sure sounds like he didn't because he couldn't even be bothered to remove a Zillow listing.
As for his behavior, he's got some real balls to refuse to acknowledge or speak to you and your husband directly for this long, especially after you've done nothing but extend him kindness. Your son-in-law sounds like a real piece of work.
I have no respect for that kind of attitude towards your in-laws because your wife, your now wife, has a good relationship with her parents. So the idea that you wouldn't put in the extra effort to just get over this
and
little
be on
slight.
At least neutral terms with them, right?
Yeah, you have to leave the house when they come.
Just get on polite terms with them. You don't have to love them, but just be polite and kind and don't cause waves just for your wife's sake. That doesn't seem too hard to do, right?
No. And if you really have only given kindness to him for the last 4 years, the idea that he would still hold a grudge over just this one thing is crazy. So, just to check, Reddit pretty much agrees that it's okay to look at people's Zillow listings, right? Just for my own mental health.
Oh, yeah. And TA, who wouldn't do this? No one in my family, for sure, because we're all obsessed with real estate.
Right? Okay, good. I'm so glad. I was a little worried there.
No, Reddit is all about looking up everybody's houses online and looking at pictures, because it's just fun to do, and we're nosy.
Yeah, it's fun to do. It's like the millennial pastime right now, because I can't afford that house anymore. I say as a homeowner.
Oh, we got so lucky to get a house before the market jumped, you know?
We got in 1 year before the spike.
So not the asshole, and your son-in-law is a weirdo.
I'm afraid so. Just double check with your daughter that he's not weird in any other aspects, I think.
Yeah, Reddit is concerned that he seems rather controlling, and they're concerned for the daughter.
I don't normally like to call guys controlling when I have such little information, but everything that you said about him makes him sound a little controlling and scary.
He's at least very controlling about his privacy.
Yeah, when somebody doesn't even want to give out, their home address to...
Family?
Family? Yeah, close family even.
Family you're on good terms with. Well, supposedly.
Right.
They was on good terms until they gave out his address.
Yeah, I have to start wondering what this person is hiding, right?
What's in his basement?
I don't know.
What's in his basement? You better look on those Zillow listings and look at the pictures and see if there's a hidden room in the basement.
I mean, he would have had it installed after.
Oh, good point.
But no, that's crazy to me that you wouldn't want your wife's parents to know where she's living. It's also crazy to me that she didn't just send the address over.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my parents had our new address before we even finished signing the deal.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think some of your family members came house shopping with me a couple times when you couldn't come with.
Yeah, they did.
Am I the asshole for telling my friends to get effed? A lot of information to go off of there.
So much information to go off of there. So, they're your friends, so I assume saying it jokingly to them is pretty normal, but saying it seriously might make them a little bit of an asshole. But did they have it coming?
I, 29 female, love to cook. I cook all kinds of stuff. Tofu, chicken, soup, sausage, Asian, Mexican, Italian, etc. I love to make things from scratch. 2 examples. I was in a tofu kick, so I made my own from raw soybeans. I was on a chalupa kick, but they're $7 each. WTF, Taco Bell. So I made my own fry bread and toppings. I love to bake Christmas cookies and make little treats.
Okay, she really likes making food.
Anyways, all this to explain that I take a lot of pride in making food, and I love to feed people. My 2 closest friends, 21 female and 25 female, shit on me every time I make something that isn't chicken tenders, basically.
It sounds like you and your friends are not compatible. Or are you really just a terrible cook and they don't want to really tell you that? So they're just like, you should have made chicken tenders because that's the one thing you can do without messing it up.
I need my dino nuggies. This meal could have been dino nuggies. That's a hard one to argue with.
Yeah, I think that about many meals.
Ouch.
No, I'm just kidding. I love your meals.
I made a chicken gnocchi soup, and one tells me it looks like it has bugs in it.
Chicken gnocchi soup is so good. Who would complain about that? What in it looks like bugs?
I make a tofu stir fry, and the other tells me it looks like poop from a butt.
Poop from a butt?
Yeah.
Where else would poop come from?
That's a good question.
I'm just saying, it seems redundant.
They know it bothers me and still continue to do it. It's not like I forced them to eat the food. I did make 21 female try tofu one time. Not even the dish posted above, which I'll admit didn't look how I wanted it to, even if it was delicious. Today, I woke up to a Facebook post of them publicly mocking me about how my food is only meant for starving orphans. So I told them both to get fucked, and now I'm the dramatic one. Am I the asshole?
Not the asshole, but why are you still offering them your precious food that you cooked? I feel like this is a lesson you should have learned early on in your friendship with them, and you just keep making the same mistake over and over and over again of sharing your food with them.
It does kind of sound like that, right? Like, you want to share food with your friends, and these just aren't the type of friends that you can share food with.
No, they're not foodies. They just want their dino nuggies, apparently. So I get that you have a hobby that you love and you want to share it with your friends, but these are not the friends to do that with. Go find other friends who like food and like cooking and share with them.
Yeah, like, join a cooking club or something.
Yeah, because these friends do not appreciate you and all the work you're putting into these foods.
If my friend turned up with, like, some homemade soup or, like, homemade tofu, like, how hard is it to make tofu? I don't even know.
I didn't even know you could make, like, tofu at home. I don't even know how tofu is made. I know it's like soybeans, right? That's all I know. How they turn the soybeans into tofu, mystery.
Yeah.
No clue. I didn't know it was possible to do it, like, outside of a factory.
Right.
I mean, I suppose it must be, right? But never occurred to me.
I mean, I know that people make it at home, in theory.
I assumed that meant that they're taking tofu they bought at the store and putting in a dish, and making a tofu dish at home. Not that they're making the actual tofu at home.
Yeah, I don't fully know the process. But you can make it out of home, I believe. I mean, I know for a fact, but...
Okay, getting off topic, though.
A little bit. She's a talented cook is the point.
Is she, though? We don't actually have anyone to confirm that. All we have is her saying she likes to cook and 2 friends who hate her cooking. So maybe she's really awful at cooking.
That's true. 100% of the reviews we've seen are like, it's poop from butt.
Yes, which is not a glowing review, you have to admit. So she could be really, really terrible. But then, even if she's a terrible cook, her friends are still assholes because your friend obviously really enjoys cooking. Don't tell her her stuff is, crappy. Just be a very nice, supportive friend and be like, oh, no, thank you, though. I just really don't like tofu, so I'm going to pass on this one.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Like, you just need some friends that appreciate cooking.
Or friends who are nicer about your terrible cooking.
One of the two, right? It's definitely one of the extremes here.
In either case, not the asshole, your friends are extremely rude. Are they even your friends if they're making fun of you on social media? I would start to question that.
Yeah, at 29, you don't need that drama in your life.
Like
I know your friends are younger than you. They're 21 and 25. So maybe they haven't reached the level of maturity where they don't post mean things about Facebook, but I don't know if there's an age where that's acceptable. I mean, I know there isn't an age where that's acceptable.
But there's an age where it's more common because,
They can't be that young and fun if they're still using Facebook.
Right?
I don't use Facebook. I'm 39. Why is this 21? Is it coming back around? Is it circular?
I don't know.
Do we need to get back on Facebook? Is that where all the young, cool kids are?
I don't know. It's where my parents are.
Right? That's where my parents are, too.
I only go on Facebook to see what my parents are up to.
Yeah, I go on Facebook to catch up on family drama, and I think I've got, my class reunion. All the planning happens on Facebook.
Yeah, I think I missed my 20-year class reunion because I wasn't on Facebook to see that it was planned, and it was, months later when I got on Facebook and someone mentioned it, and I was like, I missed that?
Right.
Oh. Guess I should have checked Facebook more often.
Yeah, I don't have any kind of notifications set up for that, so... There's no way I would see it unless I happen to log in or think about it. Edited to add the gnocchi soup recipe since so many people want it.
Does it have bugs in it?
I recommend adding some sausage and or sun-dried tomatoes and serve with crusty bread.
Well, that sounds awful.
Maybe it was bug sausage.
I don't want sausage. I just want chicken. Why would you add sausage to chicken gnocchi soup?
Reddit, unsurprisingly, says you're not the asshole. Top comment. Not the asshole, you're closest friends don't sound like good friends at all.
I'm starting to wonder if they hate your food so much that their feelings are starting to transfer over onto you, and now they're starting to hate you because they hate your food and they're associating you with hate.
It's possible they just really want their dino nuggies, and you keep trying to expand their damn palates.
With tofu stir fry.
And homemade soups and what was the other one? Chalupas?
Yeah, I think so.
I would love to have a friend that just showed up with food.
Yeah. Even like if sometimes it's stuff I don't like because like I am very picky and have a limited palate, but I'd still be like, yeah, bring food, because there's a chance that some of the food they bring I'm going to like.
I'm sorry. She makes Christmas cookies.
Oh, yeah. Bring me cookies.
Yeah. Come hang out with us and make Christmas cookies. I want to make Christmas cookies.
Yes.
You can get anyone as a friend if you cook like you say. They'd most likely love to help clean up, too. Wait, Noki, can I be your friend? A lot of people on Reddit want to be her friend.
Yeah, I would love a friend who just showed up with food. Homemade food.
Not the asshole. Those are not your friends. Constantly putting what you make down, to what end? So you theoretically quit and become useless freeloading complainers like they are? You sound like an amazing friend to even offer to feed them the unique foods you make. They don't appreciate nor deserve the fruits of your labors. Point blank, period. Please consider giving them the boot. So yeah, Reddit is very clear in their opinion. Ditch the friends, let them survive off of dino nuggies, and come over to our house and make food.
Sounds good. Would I be the asshole if I started locking our bedroom door in the mornings?
Like, why do you need to start locking the bedroom doors? Is it like a scary reason? Or is it just like an annoying reason? I'm leaning towards annoying. But no, I guess you're entitled to your privacy?
My husband and I are on different sleep schedules. He tends to go to bed around midnight or 1 a.m. and wake up around 7 a.m. I don't get to bed until 4, 5, sometimes 6 a.m. and tend to sleep until around noon. Why are you giving me this eyes?
Sorry, the different sleep schedules has me suspicious that you're, like, using this as a chance to call me out.
I am not, but we do have different sleep schedules, and this did remind us of our situation, except you're nothing like this husband.
Okay, because I sometimes come to bed at, like, 3, 4, and you've been in bed at around midnight, so I just was like, oh no, is Kristie finally going to out me as a nocturnal person?
Well, you just outed yourself, but yes.
No.
I'm aware my sleep schedule is horrible, but until I can get it fixed, this is what I'm living with. The issue is my husband will routinely come into the bedroom and talk to me while I'm still trying to sleep. It's never anything important and definitely nothing time sensitive that couldn't wait until I was awake. He comes back into the room every 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes to make some random comment, sometimes to ask me a random question, sometimes he'll walk in and just stand in the doorway staring at me.
So he's obviously holding some kind of grudge about you sleeping in.
But she's not even sleeping in. She's sleeping the same amount as him. It's just she does it at a later time than him.
Morning people do not have that logic. If you aren't up at the same time as them, then you're sleeping in.
And you are a lazy butt. Get out of bed.
Yeah, they don't care how late you stayed up. They don't care how productive you were in those 4 hours. No, society exists from 9 to 5.
I've told him before that this feels like a passive-aggressive attempt to annoy me into getting up, and that it results in me already being irritated before I even get up for the day. His response was that that's not how he meant it, so it's fine.
Okay, yeah, shut up. Those feelings are wrong.
This morning, he sent our Roomba into the bedroom while I was still sleeping, and the thing roared and banged around in there for an hour.
That's actually kind of hilarious, like that level of passive aggression. That's like when I need to get you up because we're going somewhere and you fall back asleep, so I toss the dog on the bed.
Oh, yeah. That is mean. She stomps all over me.
She licks your ears. Yeah, she does everything to get you out of bed.
Would I be the asshole if I started locking the bedroom door after my husband gets up so I can finish sleeping? There's a second bathroom he can use. It's the one he primarily uses anyway, so I wouldn't be cutting him off from the only bathroom or anything. This way, I can finish sleeping without becoming irritated at him first thing in the morning. And he can stop wandering in for no reason. I don't know if it's just an ingrained habit at this point or if he is really trying to annoy me into getting up, but he hasn't stopped despite me asking him to.
I mean, no, you wouldn't be the asshole if you want to sleep, like a full 8 hours or whatever. Your husband's being kind of an asshole. I feel like locking the door isn't the solution, but the solution involves him not being terrible. Like all the sane solutions do, at least, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do in this situation because your husband is not respecting you at all by coming in and talking to you when you're just trying to sleep. You obviously don't want to change your sleep schedule. if it's working for you as an adult, unless you're like sleeping in and like not getting the kids to school on time or something, I don't see anything wrong with you keeping like whatever sleep schedule you want as an adult. So yeah, I mean, lock that door if that's the level of solution you want, but I feel like he's going to hold a grudge about it.
Top comment, you could lock the door, but it's not going to help because he will just knock on the door to get you to answer him. The problem is the lack of respect he has for you.
Right?
I was like, yeah, I was like, locking the door isn't going to help. He's just going to be like, hey, babe, knock, 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 knock. Hey, I had a question.
Yeah.
Through the door, which is even worse.
I think he's very clearly holding some sort of grudge about you sleeping still, like morning people do.
She does have an edit. Since so many people keep asking me why my sleep schedule is so messed up, I'll put it here. I'm disabled and have chronic pain. If I go and lie down before I'm actually tired, I just end up lying there in pain. It's resulted in my sleep schedule getting pushed back later and later. Not ideal, but also not something I can just fix. I do not work. My husband is technically still employed, but is transitioning out and burning through his time off before he gets out. So he only goes into the office once every other week.
So your husband's getting ready to retire, pretty much?
Yeah, sounds like it.
It sounds like your husband is going to be that type of guy who just retires and does not actually retire. Still up early in the morning, still tromping around the house. It's going to be a rough match for the two of you, I feel.
I'm afraid of that, yes.
He has a lot of the same energy as mom on Sunday morning, vacuuming the whole house at 9 a.m. to, like, I assume, punish her teenagers.
I was thinking that too. About the mom who's like, it's rise and shine, it's morning, and the teenage kids are like, ugh.
Yeah, I have no reason to be up. Why do I have to get up?
Another edit. Many people are pointing out that maybe my husband is lonely. That's a lot of hours that we could be spending together, etc. We're literally together all day, nearly every day. He only goes into work once every 2 weeks, and even then, it's only for 3 to 4 hours at a time. We spend the rest of the time less than 10 feet away from each other. We have plenty of time together. The few hours in the morning when I'm still asleep is the most time we spend apart.
He's still lonely, though. He needs constant wife.
He's so codependent on you.
He really sounds like it, right? He's quitting his job, so he's going to be just around you all the time. He needs you to fill in for all of the social interactions he would have gotten at the office.
He's retiring. You need to get him a part-time job as a greeter at Walmart.
Or a hobby.
Yes, or a hobby. I was like, there's a lot of old people that like still get part-time jobs as a greeter at a grocery store or whatever because they're just bored.
Yeah, either that or you go and get him a little hobby that you can stick out in the shed. And then he's not in the house, tromping around. He needs to take up woodworking, it sounds like.
That sounds like a possibly loud hobby.
That's why I said in the shed.
Another comment. Not everyone is on the same sleep schedule. An OP's husband knows she is struggling with chronic pain and is pestering her when she's trying to sleep, which is already difficult for someone in pain, as it is.
That's a good point. Yeah, if she finally managed to get to sleep, yeah, let her sleep.
You deserve to be able to rest without having him come in to ask random questions to try to wake you up. He sounds immature, and I fully agree that he is being disrespectful. Someone replies, sleep deprivation is a torture method. I'm not saying he's torturing her, but it's worth noting that not sleeping enough can seriously fuck you up. He is harming her physically, body and mind, and also emotionally.
That's pretty funny, yeah. Just not letting her get her full sleep, just blaring music outside the door. I mean, funny from my perspective, not for OP.
Oh, yeah, this is not funny from her perspective.
No, this is awful from her perspective.
So irate. Does your husband resent your sleep schedule? It sounds to me like he's passive-aggressively telling you that he wants you to be getting up earlier than you are. No judgment here, I'm a night owl too. And OP responds, he says he's not doing it to be passive-aggressive and he doesn't mean to wake me up, but he also hasn't stopped, and if he doesn't mean to wake me up, I'm not sure what he thinks he's doing when he walks in and starts talking to me while I'm sleeping.
My mom didn't mean to wake me up when she vacuumed the whole house at 10 a.m. either. Sure, I believe you.
That is very nice. My mom would start banging pots and pans in the vacuum at 8 a.m. 10 a.m. would have been nice.
You and your cushy childhood.
I never got to sleep until 10 a.m., I don't think.
Did your mom do the thing where she would just walk in and start talking to you and you weren't even conscious?
She would walk in and sing to me, "Good morning, good morning."
That sounds like your mom.
I can't think. No, there was another song she actually sang. What was it? Get up, get out of bed. The sun is shining overhead. A beautiful day for adventure and fun. Life is worth living out under the sun. That's what she would run and sing. And at 7 a.m., opening my blinds to let that sunshine in.
She's a very chipper woman, but that sounds like hell.
She is very much a morning person, and me and my dad are very much not. And like she's all chipper and trying to have conversations with me and my dad in the morning, and me and my dad are like, we're like cavemen in the morning, just grunts.
Your dad is awful in the morning. That makes me think of when we were just started to date, and we were driving across the state. So when I would come, I would then sleep on the couch at your parents' house overnight, because I would come and visit you for the weekend, and then you'd come visit me for the weekend. And your dad would always drink his coffee in one spot at the kitchen table, which just so happened to look directly at the couch I was sleeping on. So for weeks, I would wake up and see your dad just sitting there glaring at me while he drank his coffee, because that was his spot.
That is his spot. He cannot sit anywhere else. Do not disrupt his morning routine.
I had to ask you, I'm like, is your dad really mad that I'm here? Like, because he just glared at me for like 30 minutes this morning.
No, he's just not awake yet, and he's just staring into space trying to wake up.
Yeah, I think we, like, kind of jokingly brought it up to him, and he's like, I didn't even realize I was staring in your direction.
Yeah. He's not, until he gets those 2 cups of coffee in the morning, do not bother talking to him.
Yeah. But yeah, OP isn't the asshole. And sometimes morning people need to accept the fact that no one else is a morning person.
Yeah, work has forced me to be a morning person. I got to be at work at like 7:15. I'm not naturally a morning person, but now I can't sleep in on the weekends. I'm like, 6:30, time to get up, you know? I still do my best to let you sleep as long as you want to.
Yeah, that's very nice of you, because I work from here and I set my own schedule. So, yeah, I admit that I abuse that privilege.
So you can be working from midnight to 3 a.m., which is when you are most alert.
I am very alert. I get so much work done from like 11 to 3 a.m., yep.
The petty in me wants her to, as soon as he goes to bed at midnight, run into the bedroom, flip the lights on, and be like, "Hey, honey, I have a question," and then keep doing that every 20 to 30 minutes until she goes to bed at 5 a.m.
I mean, that might teach him the lesson, right?
You would hope so.
He's going to be super mad.
Oh, yeah.
But you're already super mad, I assume.
I do feel like locking the door is not the solution here. Possibly the only thing that would help is giving him a taste of his own medicine or couples counseling.
It sure sounds like it. I feel like locking the door, I mean, like, it feels like a temporary solution and maybe one that won't even work, right?
Mm-hmm. He's going to think it's passive-aggressive of her to be locking the door and locking him out of the bedroom.
Absolutely. No, you need to get it through his thick skull that, like, hey, I am sleeping. Just talk to me a little bit later, please.
But he'll forget what he wanted to talk to her about by the time she gets up.
Just send a text. You can wake up to, like, a chain of text messages of him being like, I miss you, come talk to me. As someone who has trouble waking up in the morning, the amount of rage I feel towards anything waking me up, I am completely irrational until I'm fully conscious. Like, if you shake me awake for, like, somewhere we have to be, I hate you in that moment.
I know you do. And I'm so sorry.
And once I'm fully conscious, the feeling is gone. I love you again. But no, you woke me from slumber, you monster.
Also, your husband is the asshole for saying his interruptions are fine because he doesn't mean it. Tell him he may not mean it, but you definitely mean it when you lock the door because he's disregarding your feelings.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't get to just tell somebody, no, your feelings don't matter. I'm being great. My wife and everyone else thinks I got laid off, but really I quit so I could make a go at being a Twitch streamer full time.
Oh my God, you're the biggest asshole ever. Oh, I am shocked and appalled. Lying to your wife about something this big is huge red flag.
This is from our True Off My Chest, by the way.
Okay. Well, I don't care if it's not an Am I the Asshole story. He's still the asshole.
My wife doesn't follow or know anything about Twitch or video games at all. She doesn't have any knowledge of or connection to the industry I used to work in. She's a paramedic, so she works different shifts and does not know I stream at times when she is not home. Her salary is enough to cover our bills, although things will be a bit tighter until I start making money on my stream.
Until you you mean if you start making money on your stream? I feel like this is a terrible idea.
I'm not going to tell anyone until I'm bringing in enough money that I can do it full time. I have never been happier and not stressed as I am now.
Yeah, because you're not working. You're just being a freeloading butthead. Of course that's a lot less stressful and happy making.
It's easy for me to lock myself in my home office and say I'm networking and job hunting when I'm really streaming.
Wait, I want to go back a second.
Okay.
He says he's not telling anyone until he can make it his full-time job. He's already doing it full-time. This is his full-time job. He's just not making any money at it. What does he mean?
He's just working for free, yeah.
I think he's not even working for free. He is playing for free. He is playing video games all day for free. I'm so mad at this guy.
I mean, it depends a lot on how much he's doing, like, video editing and things.
I guess that's true.
Although if you're streaming, you're just kind of uploading the unedited video, so it's mostly playing and talking to an audience, but there's no growth in that. You got to do a lot of editing up front. Mm-hmm. It's a lot less playing video games than you think.
Or it should be, but it sounds like it's not for him.
I mean, unless you want to hire an editor, in which case, yeah, you can concentrate on the fun parts, but most people starting out can't do that.
No, where's he getting the money to hire an editor from?
It sounds like he's doing everything himself. I sure hope he's not, like, investing into this without talking to his wife as well. It's easy for me to lock myself in my home office and say I'm networking and job hunting when I'm really streaming if my wife and or if my 3-year-old is home.
He's got a kid to support and he just quit his job to follow his dreams. No, you got a family to support.
You at least got to talk with your wife about it, right?
Yeah.
I'm okay with you trying to follow your dream and being like, hey, we've got enough financial stability that I can work without any money for a bit, right? Set a deadline with your wife and be like, if I'm not profitable within a year, I'll go back to my job. Mm-hmm. But, like, I really want to try this. I've done the research. I can carry it out. But the second you do it all without talking to your wife...
Total asshole.
Right. If she's not working or my daughter is not at daycare, it's harder, but I make it work.
So he's home full time and he's still sending his daughter to daycare so he can network. Why is his wife okay with this?
It is a bit crazy to still be doing daycare unless you're at one of those, like, fancy daycares where you have to pay for the full year or whatever. Like,
yeah.
You can't, if you pull your kid out of daycare, you can't get them back in. Mm-hmm. But if it's just like a normal daycare, no, take over, do 2 things at once.
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of streamers, like, pause their stream because their kid needs something. But also, like, a 3-year-old needs a lot of attention, so you probably can't multitask streaming, right?
True, but maybe he should be doing the streaming part while his wife is home to take care of the kid.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But then she would be on to his secret.
I feel a bit guilty for lying, but I've wanted to do this for a long time. No one that I know in real life knows. Obviously posting this with a throwaway account. There is an update, but let's get your thoughts about it.
He's such an asshole. This is a terrible thing. He's terrible. Like, huge financial decisions like this need to be made as a team. And he is just lying to his wife. First of all, making unilateral decisions about their financial status and everything on his own. And then lying to his wife about it. And the reason he's doing this is because he knows that this is not a good idea, like, financially. So he's just lying to his wife to get his way because he just wants to stay home and play video games all day. Yeah, everyone wants to do that. But we all are adults and have families to support, so we got to go out and have a real job.
It does kind of seem like that, right? I can't get behind you doing this without telling her, right? That's the biggest point. Like, there's other problems with your plan, but the only one that really matters is that you didn't talk to your wife about it first.
Yeah, if she was okay with it, yeah, you do you, whatever, okay, as long as, she's okay with it and is on board. He didn't even check to see that.
No, it's because, like you said, you don't check when you know that the answer is going to be no. Yeah. Reddit is not very supportive of his decision.
Big surprise.
Top comment. So you're never going to tell anyone. You're not going to make money. You're a fucking loser taking advantage of your wife. Grow the fuck up and get a job and help take care of your child. Or you can wait till your wife finds out what a fucking Jesus. Language. Or you can wait till your wife finds out what a fucking deceitful user you are and hopefully she leaves you.
Also, she is a paramedic. That is a very hard and very stressful job, and it doesn't pay as well as it should. So living off of her income alone is putting a lot of stress on her. And like, this is terrible. And this guy is so awful that I feel fairly confident in saying that not only is his wife being the sole breadwinner right now, but I bet she is primarily doing all of the housework and all of the childcare too when their child is not in daycare.
I sure hope he's doing the housework and stuff, but it's hard to have a lot of faith in him when he's not being honest with her, right? One more comment. If he does end up making it, imagine him telling his wife, "Hey honey, I've been lying to you for months and or years, but it all worked out, even though you were the only one supporting us for months, and we had to go without often."
Yeah, he's just all around terrible. This is not going to work out in any way that he thinks it's going to. Okay, give me the update. I hope she found out and divorced him.
Okay, so that was posted in October of 2022.
Okay.
We have an update from November of 2025. So this month.
Okay.
3 years later.
3 years later.
Update. My wife and everyone else thinks I got laid off, but really I quit so I could make a go at being a Twitch streamer full time. An update, and my divorce destroyed me, and she's dating again now.
Yay, I'm so happy for her.
You have no mercy for this man.
No mercy.
I know I'll probably get flamed, but I get it. I understand that I am the one who ruined my life and my marriage. My divorce was finalized a year ago. She found out about 6 months after I posted. I understand that I was wrong and that I screwed up. I regret my stupidity so much. She left our flat with our daughter and went to live with her sister and hired a solicitor, and that was it. Don't be stupid like me. We've been divorced for a year, and I found out she just started dating again. I'm gutted. I miss her. I miss my daughter because she only lives with me half the time. Whenever I see my wife's sister or other members of her family, they give me the stink eye.
Deservedly so.
I can't believe I was such a lazy fuck while she was out there busting her ass as a paramedic. I understand why everyone hates me and sided with her. I know I'll get judged either way, but I'm posting in case anyone understands what I'm going through and being gutted when your ex starts dating again.
No update on if he made his Twitch career a go?
I think that means he didn't.
Because I'm wondering, how is he affording to have his daughter half the time and support his daughter if he doesn't have a job? So I'm assuming he had to go get another job.
It's probable, yeah.
And since he is not over here bragging about what a successful Twitch streamer he is, I'm thinking that did not work out.
Yeah, I would assume so.
The first post, did he say how long ago he quit his job before he posted?
He didn't say, no.
Okay.
But I would assume it's not too much longer than the 6-month period before she found out.
Okay, so it was at least 6 months, probably more like 8, right? Because he's got like a new schedule going on his streaming that he's talking about, and so he's been doing it for a little bit. That is, and he hasn't made a go of it at all in that time. That's yeah, I don't think he ever was.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one to take off. There is an element of luck, but also, like, I don't know what kind of industry he was in beforehand, right?
Yeah.
You can kind of downgrade the amount of luck needed if you have skills in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've worked in advertising for over a decade. That helped a lot with starting this channel.
It did.
You have a TikTok account that has a lot of followers. That also helped with starting this channel. There was luck involved in us moving along as much as we have in our time frame, but there still was some luck. I think I got a little off topic there, but
becoming successful on social media is like one part luck, one part persistence, and one part like actual skills. You know, you need all three to make a real go of it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
And I think he was missing at least one of those.
And it doesn't matter if you have all three. You got to talk to your partner about big decisions like this.
Yes.
Top comment. I read your original post, and the funny thing is that everyone told you this was going to happen, and it did.
Oh, that's another good point. So he posted this, got all this feedback about how awful this was, and then continued to do it for 6 months until he got caught and she divorced him.
Yeah, he just needed to confess. He didn't actually
want advice or like to people to tell him that this was terrible.
Yeah, you go to R True Off My Chest just to let people know that you did something.
I do feel like he knows it was terrible, which is why he was confessing.
I mean, he definitely knew. That's why he went behind his wife's back to do it. I'm sorry that your life turned out kind of poorly because of this one call. You did maintain that one call for 6 months, so I lose a little bit of my mercy on you. But overall, Reddit is once again not on his side. I don't think
serves him right.
I don't think he expected them to be. It's just a lot of comments of saying, like, you could have tried to do this as a nighttime thing after you get off of work from your job.
Yeah, like the smart thing to do would have been like maybe go down to part-time at work, so you're still bringing in some money, and then spend the rest of your time working on this.
Although step one of that part-time thing is still
Talk to your wife.
That's the best advice for any marriage. Just talk to your spouse.
Yes.
And make decisions as a team.
I'm glad you're a good husband.
I'm glad we do a show together instead of having to do it secretly in the closet.
That is also nice.
Yeah. All right, that's our last story for this time. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet.
Hit that subscribe button and we'll see you later.